Okay, folks, welcome back to another video. All right, today we're gonna talk about Alien. So Alien Earth. I want to talk more about this because I'm a little like there's not much going on about it for some reason. Like people are not talking much about it, but it's supposed to be releasing by next month, exactly in a month. So it was like 8/12. Yeah, August 12th. So I don't know what the hell this trailer is. I can't pause this. I don't know why that keeps rolling, but whatever. So I want to talk more about this because I don't know too much information about it. So I want to share any information I find out on it because I'm not sure like exactly what the storyline behind it is going to be and stuff like that. So I want to check this out. All right. So when a this is the story here? When a mysterious space vessel crash lands on Earth, a young woman and a ragtag group of tactical soldiers make a fateful discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's greatest threat. What do they mean by discovery? So, I don't know. I need to find out more. There has to be like some more information about this because where's the story? All cast and crew, creator, production, box office, and more. There's got to be more to this. I'm not familiar with any of these actresses in this series. It's going to be released on FX and Hulu and Disney Plus. I have Hulu, so I'm good to go. I'll be waiting on that. The Tron Ares. That's another thing I want to talk about. I'm going to do another video on Tron Ares, definitely, because there's not much information going on around about that either. The trailer released like what, a month or two ago, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, something like that, and nothing happened. Like ever since. So taglines in 2120, Mother Earth is expecting. So, I mean, does this have to do with Wayland? I don't know. With Wayland Enterprise or in Industries, whatever you want to call it. Um, Okay, so trivia. The series will take place in 2120, 2 years before the events of the original film Alien. Oh, it's 2 years right before. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Um, that's what I was looking for. I didn't know if it was going to take place like anywhere after. If this is supposed to be like a sequel to Alien and a prequel to Aliens, or is it like a prequel to Alien or something like that, because I knew it had to be something older because the technology they have in this series is going to be a lot older than Aliens. It's around. It looks like it's around Alien, so which takes place in 2122, 17 years before the hit video game Alien Isolation, set in 2137, 22 years before Alien Romulus, set in 2142. Right, yeah, Romulus was the one that was in between. That's right. Yeah, that's the one that was in between Aliens and Alien. So it was a sequel to Alien, but a prequel to Aliens. So it was right in between. So that would make Aliens the sequel to Alien Romulus now. This this shit they're doing today, I don't know why they're doing this with the prequels and the sequels before the prequels and the prequels of the sequels, and like it's why are they doing shit like that? I don't know. But like they're changing timelines and shit like that too, like with a lot of movies and franchises. It's kind of annoying in a way, but whatever. 20 years, yeah, I read that already. 59 years before Aliens, yeah, see, and Alien 3, which both take place in 2179. It's also been confirmed by Noah Hawley that the events of the prequels Prometheus and Alien Covenant will largely be ignored. Okay. So, yeah, Prometheus was actually supposed to be... Wasn't that a sequel to Alien? Right? Or was it a prequel to Alien? It was a prequel to Alien, right? If I'm not mistaken. I can't fully remember because, man, it's been a while since I actually watched Prometheus. A very long time. When did I actually see Prometheus? I think I saw it in theaters when it first came out. Yeah, because it came out in 2012, and I remember seeing the trailer to it when I saw I think it was Ghost Protocol from Mission Impossible, and I went to the theaters to see that, and I think the trailer to Prometheus showed, and I was like, oh, is that a new Alien movie? I was like really hyped to see something from Alien again, and when the movie released, I think I did see it in theaters. If I'm not mistaken, I think I did. For some reason, I can't fully remember, but anyways. Release date, yeah, so it's August 12th. That's a day before my birthday. My birthday's on the 13th. Filming locations, Thailand. Oh, they filmed it in Thailand. Wow. I guess because of like the jungle like theme, I guess. But that would make it more like Predator. What is the Canadian French language plot for? Nah, I'm not interested in that. Text specs, color, Dolby Digital. All right, so I don't think there's much more information featured. Yeah, so the storyline obviously will take place on Earth, obviously, and 2 years before Alien. But here's the thing I'm not understanding here, though. I mean, if it's gonna take 2 years before Alien, right? In Alien, they discovered a planet. I think that yeah, it was the story to that one was they discovered the planet that I think they were looking for like signs of like life on that planet or ship or something like that. That's why Prometheus was like confusing because it looked exactly the same as Alien, but it really wasn't. It was a totally different planet, a totally different ship, and it was different engineers. So they see the engineer there and shit like that in Alien, right? Hold on, let's go to Alien. Let's look up Alien. I don't know why I had to scroll up all the way to the top like that, but whatever. let's go to Alien. Oh shit, I might like hit a button by accident. I hope not. Alien. Let's do 1979. Let's do that. Okay, now let's go to IMDb. I like using IMDb because that's like an official site for cinema. Okay, so yes. After investigating a mysterious transmission of unknown origin, the crew of a commercial spacecraft encounters a deadly life form. There you go. See, so that's what I'm talking about. It was a transmission signal that they received and they went to go look for it, like where it was coming from. And when they discovered it, it was a spacecraft that crash landed from the engineers. And something happened, something went wrong, and that's why the ship crash landed, and all the engineers died, or that one engineer. I think it was just one engineer. He was in the ship and he died. And they were like, what caused it? They were trying to figure out what caused it. And then it turns out they come across some alien life form, of course, that happens to implant in, what was his name? I forgot his name. I forgot the character's name for some reason. But it implanted in him, and then a chest burster came out, and then comes the xenomorph. So the face hugger attached to him at first, and then yeah. So now since they discovered this, right, all the way in some other planet, and it was from a ship of these beings from a far distant world. How is it that Wayland Industries, if this is Wayland, it has to be, I mean, in Alien Earth, it has to be that it's Wayland Enterprise. I mean, they're not saying anything about that. It has to be Wayland, because that's the company they worked for. That is the original company, Enterprise, that they worked for. It's like NASA, I guess. It's their own like space and science industries and shit. I don't know if I'm using the right terms either. I probably just want to sound like a smart guy, but I'm probably really dumb. But yeah, I mean, it has to be that this is Wayland and they discover this on Earth. How is that possible? I mean, so there's going to be xenomorphs on Earth 2 years before Ellen Ripley and her crew discover the xenomorph or the life forms on another planet. That doesn't make sense. I'm kind of confused on how they're gonna do this. Like, how they're gonna relate this. And is it gonna mention Ellen Ripley at all? I mean, because this is taking place 2 years before, so I don't know if Ellen Ripley is gonna be mentioned at all. Maybe not, because maybe this has to do with something else. I don't know, but this is confusing because this is Wayland. It has to be Wayland. I'm repeating myself over and over again because I don't know for sure, but it has to be. I mean, could there be more information? There has to be something. Let's see. Let's see Wikipedia. I mean, I hate Wikipedia, but let's see what they say. Premise: when a space vessel crash lands on Earth, a young woman and ragtag group of tactical soldiers make a discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's biggest threat. Wait a minute. What do you mean crash lands on Earth? When a space... Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. It's in the trailer. The spacecraft from... I guess that's one of the engineers then. Maybe that was one of the engineers that was supposed to head to Earth because, remember, in Prometheus, that's where they were heading. They were heading to Earth with these life forms, and they were going to release them on Earth so they could, kill everything on Earth because they will, the xenomorphs. It's like a parasite. They need a host, and then they burst out the host, and then that host dies pretty much. So that basically that would be the perfect way to annihilate all life on the planet. So that's what the engineers were heading to Earth to do. So maybe this could be one of the engineers who was heading to Earth, or he escaped that ship that was heading to Earth and actually crash landed on Earth. Like he actually succeeded in when he, what do you call that, ejected. Maybe when he ejected and escaped from the ship. No, because wait a minute, no. Or actually, yeah, you know what? It could be a part of Prometheus. Even though they're mentioning that it has nothing to do with Prometheus, there has to be a connection here. They have to be able to connect that because, like, how, if this is going to be an engineer ship, right? That's crash landing on Earth. That has to be one of the engineers that was heading to Earth from the other ship that crashed on that other planet. Like, because it crash lands. It doesn't land on Earth and then it's, an engineer pops out like, hey, I'm here to kill you all. Haha. It crash lands, meaning that something happened and it caused the ship to crash land on the planet. So that means it has to be an engineer. It has to be, right? I mean, you see that they're not really describing much. They're not really giving much information about the story. Maybe because they don't want to yet, and they want you to watch the show to figure it out for yourself. But, I mean, I could definitely figure it out for myself. I mean, there has to be a connection here to Prometheus. There has to be a connection. Because, I mean, if you're going to do something like that, right? If it's definitely an engineer crash landing on Earth, and it was an accident because something happened, something went down, that means it could... Oh, wait a minute. It could be the ship that Ripley discovers with her crew. It could be from that ship. Because this is 2 years prior, right? So maybe this is a projectile or ship that was ejected from the mothership, or maybe it was a part of, I don't know, maybe it was a part of a battle or something or some shit, and they escaped and crash landed here on Earth 2 years before they get that signal from the actual ship of where the accident happened. So, yeah, okay, so if it's not going to be connected to Prometheus, then it is most definitely going to be connected to what happened in Alien. That engineer ship that they discovered in Alien. So it definitely is connected to that. So, but then now it's the case of what happens next after that ship crash lands on Earth. What do they discover when they go in and try to see what's in there? Like, is it gonna be similar to Prometheus in a way with the life forms and stuff like that? Who knows? But of course, we're gonna have face huggers. That's for certain, because we're definitely gonna have xenomorphs. That's for certain. But who was in control of that ship that crash lands? It has to be an engineer. Yeah, it has to be. So this has to be connected to what happened in Alien. The transmission they get from the original ship on that planet. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If this is going to be connected to Alien, right? To the events that this is going to lead to the events that happens to Alien. How come in Alien, none of this was mentioned? Okay, so how would they connect this if none of this will be mentioned? None of this was mentioned in Alien, that there was an event that caused them to go out seeking this transmission. You see what I'm saying? Like that is something, an event that happened on Earth that caused this crew with Ripley to go to another planet to seek answers of why the events on Earth happened. You see, so connecting that will be a little confusing. It will be a little confusing because in Alien, none of that kind of stuff is mentioned. They just go directly. They're just space traveling, and find this ship, and find a nightmare. You know, pretty much. But in Alien Earth, I'm not sure how they're gonna connect the dots here. I don't know how they're gonna connect the dots here, but I'm very curious to know how this show is gonna turn out and like what they're gonna do with this story to connect it to Alien, and even connect it to anything that happens to Alien in Alien, you know, like, and leads up to Ellen Ripley and her crew. Yeah, I mean, the events that take place in here, because it's a series, is obviously going to be like months and months of events. So that's what I'm saying, like connecting the dots to Alien 2 years after this, it's like, how though? Like, because in Alien, none of this kind of stuff was ever experienced before Ripley and her crew. So it wouldn't make sense to do this kind of prequel on Earth. Yeah, that will be confusing. So this is like, how are they going to connect these dots? I don't know, but we'll see what happens eventually. You know, we're gonna see what happens with this show. I'm hoping it turns out really good. I'm hoping they do something good with the story and they're somehow connecting the dots. Because I'm thinking I don't think they could connect the dots. Strange, but whatever. We'll see what happens. I mean, it does look good. The trailer does look really good. And this, I like this, you know, this cover art. I like this artwork here. This looks really cool. It's very Alien. I like it. And it looks like the type of style they did, it looks like it's mixed of Alien and Aliens. And they definitely got some pulse rifles in this one too. So I can't wait to see that and hear how they sound. I hope they keep the original sound, because that is just the sound, okay? You can't change that sound. But yeah, I'm hoping they do a great job with this. I really am. Alright. Well, obviously, there isn't that much information about it. Even Wikipedia is the same thing. It's literally the same thing as IMDb. Yeah, so... Alright, well, I'm going to end this video here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you really think that they could be able to connect the dots with this show, Alien Earth, 2 years prior to the events that takes place in Alien, which is 2 years later than this? I mean, do you think that they can make it happen? I don't know, because it really doesn't make sense to me in a way. I don't know if you agree, you know, but if you disagree, please tell me, like, what are your thoughts on this? You know, I really would like to know what you guys think about this, because I'm a little skeptic at the same time. Like, I'm a little excited, but I'm also skeptic because I don't know how to connect. They're gonna connect this, but we'll see how it turns out, right? All right, guys. So hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys next time.